Hey, what is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. It is good to have everybody here on another swinging Tuesday morning where we talk about movies, TV shows, streaming, box office, all kinds of good stuff, including just how trampled the theater got this weekend because of good old super game. You can't say the words for some reason. Yeah, everybody says the big game. Why not call it the super game? At least you're closer to the bowl. See, far enough apart. But look, we'll talk about. Maybe I'll have you guys chime in and see if you had any favorite commercials, if you cared or even watched the football game. But it's the big thing over the weekend. So, and kudos to Bad Bunny for a killer halftime show. But we're gonna talk about that and all kinds of good stuff. So grab a drink, grab a snack. Oh boy, Bob, wake up! Hit that button because it's time. Oh, for the morning mug. Hit it. Hey, my friends, welcome back to the morning mug. Now let's chat. All right, let us chat. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy as I look at that intro. It has my little doggy in there. You guys know a few weeks ago I lost Cash, but it puts a smile on my face to see that little tongue licking and tail wagging every single morning. So to Cash, y'all. So how the heck are you guys? Let's jump over to the banner. Oh, hang on. Wait, no, get that timer off of there. Welcome to the morning mug. Oh, this is kind of cool. You can put a timer on here. Watch. Check out the magic. Morning mug, you may be gone. Look at that. Ooh, timers, baby. Hit that ticker, son. All right, let's get over to, of course, the chat section and see who's here. Of course, Dave kicking in the door. What's going on, bud? Good morning. You actually get a nice day out there? Yeah, I hate to say, but I just, took my trash out in shorts and a bathrobe, drinking iced tea. I feel so bad for you guys in the cold section of town. Lord have mercy. And snow is starting to melt. That's good. That's good. Go away, snow. Nice. Enjoy the 52-week challenge. Excellent. It's a good one so far for me, too. Oh, what's your comfort movie? Air Force One. That is a good comfort movie, y'all. That's the next week. So look, even if you jump in for 1 week to play along with the 52-week movie challenge, do the comfort movie week. That way, everybody's watching a good cozy movie, especially if you're out there in the cold weather. I thought trailers for football were they really were. I actually liked, Hail Mary and Cliff Booth. I didn't see the Hail Mary. I'm trying to stay away from it. Everyone, it's showing too much. So, yeah. Or a lot of commercials were like, yeah. Yeah. Where is everyone? I don't know. How many we got in the old, in the cafe right now? Dave, who else here? Let me hear it. I look and sound okay. I was just giving it a listen. I only see 8 people here. 8 people. Oh, it must be a slow morning, or the mug is slowing down. I don't know, Dave. What do we do? Van Gool, welcome, my friend. Welcome. Good to see Jay. Steve's here. Jeff Roney. Look at that. What up? Bonkers is here. Oh, the cool crowd is showing up early. Good to see everybody. Hey, hit that like button. David James is here. Hello, Huckaroos. Dude, the McPizza has landed. What is good, Hoss? What's up, Morning Muggles? Yeah, indeed. I didn't watch it. I'm not gonna. Look, there's got to be mystery when I go see movies. And now, especially when too many trailers, let me know if you guys feel this way. The first trailer is almost enough. If unless I am obsessed with the topic, like Superman, I think I saw every trailer. But actually, no, I'm going to even pull back a little bit. I saw the teaser and then the first trailer, and then I knew there was another trailer out. I didn't watch the third trailer. And Project Hail Mary, I already know, if you read the book, the trailer literally gives away the hook. My wife even said it, during the Super Bowl. She's like, my God, that moment when it pops up in the book is you're like, oh my God, so that's already ruined. So I'm not going to watch. I'm already going to go see it. I think it looks great. Gosling looks like he's going to turn in a good job. But what did we think of the Mando and Grogu, just riding the Tauntauns? I thought it was funny and cute, but it doesn't move the needle on getting people excited for the movie, right? I mean, like, it was cute. I mean, maybe it did. Maybe little kids saw it and now they're losing their minds and they're like, oh, Daddy, we got to go see Mando and Grogu, or as they call it, we got to go see Grogu. I bet they just want to go see Grogu, right? It still sounds weird to say Grogu. Say it with me. Grogu. Whatever. But yeah, so cute commercials as usual. But I did love the Andy Samberg Neil Diamond. He's doing the Neil Diamond ripoff, but he's Neil Diamond and he's obsessed with mayonnaise. That was pretty funny. And of course the Dung Kings had a little return. Yeah, too many. I'm with you. I'm with you, Jay. Too many. Yes, is everyone doing fantastic? We hope you are. How are you? How are you, Nikki? What's going on? Wait, did I misread? Oh no, we got the whole family here. Good to see you, my dear. Look at that. Let's see. Too many celebs in the commercials. The Super Bowl missed the days commercials that were funny because they were funny, not because they think everyone will freak out because Sofia Vergara. I know, right? Although she did look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, she was looking pretty good. Yeah, I know a lot of celebrity cameos. Let's see. Adrian Caprice is here. Good morning, my darlings. And I'm amazing. I don't mean that, being all egotistical. I just mean I'm feeling and doing amazing. I'll leave it up to y'all to think if I'm amazing. Maria, whoa, what up, girl from Finland? How was your 52-week movie challenge going, my dear? We're having a good time, y'all. If you haven't jumped on the bandwagon, just come play in the sandbox. You don't have to. Don't ever see. I think is people don't want to do it because they feel like it's going to be a commitment. It's not that kind of thing. It's just, the challenge is there for you all year to just dip in and out if you want to. Maybe you see a really great week coming up. It's like, oh, I want to do the Courtney Cox week because it lines up with Scream 7, or I want to do this week because of that. That's part of the reason for the list to exist as well. You don't have to feel obligated to nail every week, but those of us who are playing along week by week are also having quite a fun time, and we'll talk about my pick a little bit later. Caprice, look at that. Right? I mean, look, it was cute. I laughed. I like that they put Tauntauns in there for the Clydesdales. It was a cute spot, but that's all. To me, that's like a cute bonus feature on a DVD. That's what that was. It was not a, but my wife did say it harkened back to what they did last year with Stitch. Like everyone was waiting for a Lilo. I always get it wrong. Lilo and Stitch. I get my Futurama and this mixed up. You can tell how much I care about the franchise. Anyway, Lilo and Stitch. So they didn't have a trailer. They just had Stitch out there on like a little golf cart thing, and he crashes it into the goalpost, and he's running around on the field. And they're trying to catch Stitch, and it was cute, just like the Grogu thing. It was cute and it's funny. Did it move the needle on the movie? I say no, and yet it's the only movie that made $1 billion last year, right? Oh no, I take that back. No, we had several that did it. It was Zootopia got over the line. Well, actually, you know what? Let me check. I'm almost 100% that Lilo and Stitch. I hope it's Lilo. Is it Lilo? Yes. How much did that live action? Oh, it just crested 1.038 billion. So that and Zootopia I think was it, because Minecraft almost made it. It was 960 something, 980 something, almost there. Um, and then of course Avatar. So 3 movies this year. That was it. 3 movies. I even think I did a thing on that like a month ago. So it's all coming back to me now. But yeah, man. So what was I even talking about? I don't know. Oh, yeah. So Grogu. So yeah. So the fact that Stitch didn't even have a trailer still hit the $1 billion mark. So the fact that Grogu, I don't think, by the way, Mando and Grogu is even going to come close to 1 billion, regardless of this trailer or not, or this cute little moment where he's running around on the field. Yeah, I don't think that's going to matter. Do you? I don't think so. What we got here? Hello, hello. Look at that. Lukester's here. What's good? Go check out Luke over there at Luke's channel. Rock and rolling. Here's another legend. What's up, KB? How's all my KB and fellowette KBs at the KB crib? Good to see you as always. Sounds like you have faith. 5 weeks in the bag. Nice. Week 6 is easy. I know, right? It's so funny for you. You know, foreign director. It's like any non-Finnish director, everybody from Hollywood. What did you pick, Maria? What did you pick? I mean, because you could pick anything. Yeah, your list is so vast. I am curious because I don't. You might have put it in our chats. That chat gets so, you're part of it, KB. We're all part of it. That chat gets big sometimes. But you guys let me know. Look, for those who are playing along, this week was a movie from the 1950s or earlier. If you've done it yet, like the week is still good until Saturday. I always try to rack mine in early so that I can talk about it on the show here and, get people excited to maybe do it throughout the week. But if you have already seen your 1950s movie or earlier, chime in, man. Let me know what you picked. Yes, that was the intention, my friend. I put that Courtney Cox thing on there on purpose so we could all go see the new Scream if we so choose. If not, there are plenty of other Courtney Cox movies that you can check out should Scream not be your bag. Planning on checking out Mighty Supreme today. All right. Planning on watch Night Patrol and The Plague. Nice. Let me know what you think of Marty Supreme. Yeah, I think you know my take on Marty Supreme. I mean, just in a nutshell, I liked it, but I feel it's overhyped. But I think I'm feeling very in the minority. Every time I say that, I keep learning most everyone else is like, yippee-ki-yay, Marty Supreme. So I just thought I was moved by other performances more than I was our boy. I mean, Timothy, he was fantastic, but I thought there was better. That's just me, though. I was at the Super Bowl. What? You was at it? I was starting to get to see the trailers. Until after, but my favorite one was yeah. That was so good. So what that reminds me of is that was a Saturday Night Live sketch first. I don't know if you guys saw it, but when Ariana Grande was on there a few weeks ago, they were doing duets, and Ariana's playing Celine Dion, and one of the other guys is playing Andrea Bocelli and things like that. And one of the things was Keenan was there singing. I forgot. I think he was Stevie Wonder playing his keyboard. And then Benson Boone comes flipping into the scene and lands on the keyboard and trashes it. And then they cut back to them again where Benson flips from some ladder onto a Christmas tree and knocks that thing over. It was hilarious because all you can remember from the Grammys a year ago is Benson Boone in his little, jumpsuit doing flips off the piano. So the fact that they kind of carried that joke, because in my opinion, that was done first on SNL. But to see Ben Stiller do a full, the stunt man, take that fall, that was... It kept making me laugh because that was like my favorite thing during that show. But dude, you're so right, Caprice. That was uber hilarious. Loved it. 13 likes. Come on, the crowd's coming in. Smack them, y'all. 13 likes, 16 minutes in. Cool. Look at that. Like last time it took us almost an hour and a half to hit 20. So it's a long way to go to get 7 at only 15 minutes in, but we can do it. Yeah, I have faith in this crowd. No Other Choice was great. Saw it with Sean last Sunday. Oh, okay. No Other Choice. Doing well. Got Dell coming back. Nice, dude. Dell. Y'all go to KB. KB, feel free to paste your link down here so people can go to it, hit notify, and check you boys out. Love those dudes, dude. Dell and KB hanging out. That's a good time. I think Manuel Grogu's only make 50. Nah, I think it'll do more than that. It's a Star Wars movie the first Star Wars movie in 7 years, even though it's just a glorified TV show, in my opinion. I think because we're talking globally too. I think, oh, do you just mean opening weekend or full on? It's full run? Because I think it's going to get over 100 million just because they want to see something. If it's good, it'll get people out there. Plus, it's got Grogu in it, just like Stitch had Stitch in it. And that's just a live action remake of a cartoon we've already seen. But kids love that merch. Never underestimate the power of merch, my friend. That Grogu merch could do quite a lot to pull in those kids. And the kids are going to want to take their parents. The parents are going to drag the kids, And if you got a big family and you go more than once, it's going to do well, but it's not going to do what a real Star Wars movie should do. I'm thinking probably between the 250, 400 range, maybe. If it hits 500, that would be lucky. I don't think we're getting that high, but we'll see. We'll do a prediction thing right here. Do any Olympics movies? Doing an Olympics movie for two. Okay, would have been fun. Hard to plan for everything. Yeah, I totally spaced out. I didn't even think about the Olympics. Coming in, I was just trying to line it up with theater stuff. Playing for the Lady Vanishes. Nice, cool, man. Of Disclosure Day trailer, look cool. I mean, I'm all in. I'm a Spielbergian nut. So, oh yeah, you saw Marty. I saw that. Very cool, KB. I gotta see that still. I haven't seen that. Again, the beauty of this challenge, man, it makes you just pull stuff, out the closet, dust it off, put it in, check it out. Yeah, I bet that's a good movie. I'm glad it was good. Let's see. I picked No Other Choice. Yep. Foreign director. Nice. Anatomy of a Murder. Very good pick. Hang on. Sorry, gang. My throat's still trying to get working this morning. It's a problem when you haven't talked a lot today yet. I have mine picked out. I'll be watching today. Caprice, have you seen this movie yet? Have you? Wow. I am so happy you're seeing this. KB, to we right? I think you like this movie. Luke, who else is a big Sunset Boulevard fan? They re-released this for its whatever 60th, 75th, whatever 70th anniversary, whatever it was, in the theater last year, and I went to go see it. Oh man, that was so good to see what this film felt like sitting in the cinema back in the day that came out, and we're just watching it in the theater. It was like glorious. And I'd seen it prior to that, which is why I knew I wanted to go see it, but it was so good. It was so good. So I cannot wait to hear your reaction. There are some people who it doesn't click with, for sure. I told this to a friend who was looking for a good movie to see. And she's like, I didn't care for it. I'm like, I was a bit stunned, I'll say. I'm like, really? I was like, classic Hollywood cinema there. Carmen Jones for the challenge. All right. Suggested. Nice. Oh, by Marianne and Dell. Enjoyed it. Belafonte and Dandridge. Cool. Look at this. Hitch was a bit of a cop out. It was he though? I mean, because he speaks English? Is that what you're getting on me about? Come on, he's like an all-time, like the Brit director of all Brit direct. So if I'd have picked Guy Ritchie, would that have been also probably be a cop out as well? Guy Ritchie, any of those, Brits? All right, I'll dig deeper next time. I will. I'm sorry. I did do Guillermo del Toro last year, but I did it during the Halloween time. It was a prosthetic challenge or whatever. But That's pretty funny. Just, uh, yeah, we're not gonna get into politics though, Dave. Here, yeah, but yeah, I did. Steve, glad you liked it. I have Ice Storm. Well, does Ang Lee count? Is he also English? Let's see. Okay, that's good. All right, there's KB's link, y'all. Go check him out. Click it. Hit some notification on there. That'd be groovy. Happy Taco Tuesday. Heck yeah, John. DS9. Sweet. Digging the name. Love it. That's such a good theme. The theme song to DS9 is, of all those new, I mean, I love the Next Generation, but then when it comes to that and Voyager and Enterprise and all that, DS9, man, that intro theme song slaps. And I don't know why we can't create new good themes. I don't know what is the deal. Like, we have just given up on good theme, like opening intros. We don't do those anymore. If there's an intro, it's sort of like a music hit and the title comes up, then it fades off. I'm like, that's the intro. It doesn't even have like a cast crawl anymore. We don't care about any of that anymore. That's gone. And I've watched all the new Star Treks, and every theme is just so sleepy. God, put some punch into those theme songs, man. Like, where it's Starfleet Academy, if anybody's watching that snore, come on, punch it up a little bit. Star Trek, I mean, Next Generation, man, that was an upbeat banger of an intro. And then DS9's a little bit more melodic and got some of those cool arrangements. And then we just lost it after that. It's just like we just kept getting into the I don't know. There's just nothing memorable about any current Trek theme to me. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. And I know you're gonna like it. I hope you like it. I really do. It's so fascinating. Like, right out of the gate, the film tells you the story, like what the plot is right at the beginning, and then you just roll with it and see what the heck. I'm talking code because I don't want you, but yeah, look at that. Steve loves it. Sunset Boulevard, Double Indemnity. Yep. I saw both of those for the first time. Well, for the first time recently. Yeah, there it is. I thought so. Mm-hmm. Oh, you watched it last week? Nice. Oh, look at all this Sunset Boulevard love coming out. Caprice, we're gonna just ready to talk to you. You mentioned Alfred Hitchcock as your foreign director. Could you Shadow of a Doubt? Yes, absolutely. Look, I live in America, so technically, he is a foreign director. I'm just saying, Billy Wilder, yeah, man, I did a whole last year. Part of my goals for the year was to watch a bunch of Billy Wilder movies. That was like 2 years ago. Then last year was watch a bunch of Marilyn Monroe movies, and I watched 10 of those. So, and of course, Billy Wilder did that. He did Some Like It Hot, and I think another Marilyn movie. Yeah, I think he did. Did he do 7-Year Itch? I can't quite remember, but I think maybe he did. Anyway, Billy Wilder, good filmmaker. Yes, mother tongue. Says you. For someone who's never watched Trek and wants to start, should I start with the OG show or Next Generation? Well, I mean, look, here's the thing. I think you're safe either way. Let's just, cut to the chase. I mean, I would say watch at least season 1 of the original Trek, so you see how it all started, where all this goodness came from, just to appreciate it. You don't have to. I wouldn't say plow through all 3 seasons. If you want, I could curate you a top 10 episodes so that it would be the best of the best of the whole series, just 10 of the best to show you what that Trek was all about. And then that would include some from seasons 2 and maybe even 3. And then a lot of more people maybe not born in the 60s, maybe later 70s, 80s, their favorite is Next Generation. Actually, my wife's favorite is Next Generation. We're almost the same age. So it depends on taste, she's a fan. She's more of a fan of Picard. I'm more of the Kirk guy, Kirk taking action. So, and yeah, I would just say do that or do a top 10 maybe Google is see what the Trek crowd says they think is the best. And if you want to run it by me on Instagram, I'll give you the thumbs up or thumbs down for your watch list. But if you had to just go season by season, I'd say start with season 1 of the original and go to season 3 of the Next Generation. Just jump right to season 3. If you want to watch the very first episode, Encounter at Farpoint, just to see how it all starts, and the introduction of Q, which is their big bad guy, do that. But then jump to season 3. Otherwise, you got to curate you a top 10. Yeah, Deep Space Nine. They got a great theme. I know. Wish they would remaster those two. I still don't understand why they don't do it. Like for the price of one episode, probably, right? You can remaster each of those seasons and offer it up on Paramount Plus as a prestige thing. Hey, if you want to see Voyager and Deep Space Nine in HD for the first time ever, come here. I mean, look, you're going to spend millions on a channel exclusive movie. I don't even see Paramount doing this. Paramount even do like movies straight to their channel. If they do, I don't hear about them. Like you always hear about Netflix and Prime, even Hulu doing movies, Apple, Paramount. If they're doing straight to straight, I literally don't hear about them. Like I see their Paramount movies on there after they've come into the theater, but they're not doing that. So the one thing they could do to just bring people in, even Trek fans, maybe if they already own everything on DVD and don't see the point in subscribing to the channel, put them out as a channel exclusive for like 2 years. For 2 years, you're going to get these shows on HD. Your wishes come true before we drop these on. But I know they lost money when they did the Next Generation. So when they did that and then put it out, it didn't do what they thought. Now, the original still has the most dedicated fan base because I think when they remastered that, I have so many copies of that on Blu-ray on different versions. I got the Steelbook, I got all these different releases. I think if any of the shows would profit in 4K, it would be the original show. But will they even do that? You know, and they got to chop, man. Fan base ain't getting any younger. Yeah, John Williams, 94. Oh yeah, Scott Bakula. Is it worth watching? I'll say this, Haas. I bailed out on it. This is being honest. First season started strong. Got about halfway, I guess I went through the whole first season. It was good. And then midway, I don't know, probably through second season or early third, so I just tapped out. I just lost interest. However, when the show was wrapping up and they really started to do what they should have been doing the whole time, is they really amped up the episodes. The last 6 episodes of Enterprise are some of the best Star Trek shows around. They did a Mirror episode. Like everyone's got to do a Mirror. Next Generation did it. They did a Future Imperfect where they had doppelgangers and stuff like that. But Enterprise did it, and it was chef's kiss. It was really good. And T'Pol in the hot, mirror look. Oh, hell yeah. So you got, and then they find the Enterprise in one of the episodes, and then they even get aboard it, and they put on the costumes that Kirk wore. So Scott Bakula is wearing the Shatner green tunic, not the gold one, but the green one that wraps around and the signal wraps around the waist. That put the feels in. So they're doing all these great, like really go get them episodes near the end, and then the show was over. Because they had already pulled the plug, or they knew they were gonna. So I think they just said, well, let's go out swinging. And I thought it ended pretty strong. Now, the bummer part is how it ended, if that makes sense. So the final show of Enterprise was a cop-out. It was bad. It was lame. It was not epic. The prior show should have been the finale, is all I'm saying. So there you go. Oh, Quantum Leap is a banger, dude. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. Yeah, Quantum Leap. Dude, he was so good in that. He was nominated for Emmys. I don't know why he didn't get it. Wasn't anybody on TV pulling off what Scott Bakula could pull off. He has to pretend, he has to be himself, but pretend to be somebody else at the same time, but also retain himself while he's pretending. You know what I mean? It was such a complicated performance that he made look so effortless. It was stunning. Stunning, that boy. Do you like the intros for Picard? They're not bad. They're not bad. In fact, I even have to kind of think about them. I'm like, like, I don't remember disliking them, but they're not having a lasting impression in my head, you know. But I do like Picard season 3. Honestly, I will never rewatch seasons 1 or 2. Like the whole point, like why give Picard some ailment that kills him off and puts him into an android body? You still have Picard around. You still have Patrick Stewart around. There's no point in that plot. It's asinine. And then it's never brought up. Well, it's slightly. Here's what's great about season 3 is even the showrunner, Terry Matalas, he's like, okay, that's a stupid plot line, but because it exists, I'm going to milk just a little bit of it so it has some relevance in season 3. And I'm like, thank you for paying attention to that we did that and then utilizing it to some degree, because otherwise it was pointless. So yeah, season 3, I need to order that. I think it's dropped down to $25 now. So I haven't bought the other 2. Don't care to, but season 3 brings the whole cast back, and in a good way, not like just a fan service way. You got a beautiful mic. I mean, noise. Shadow of a Doubt. It's another good one. 17. Go, people, go. And Tolkien and other revered writers from history. I don't know. I think they would be screenwriters. I mean, you know, but maybe because they also directed some of their plays. Tolkien, no. I mean, he's a writer. So, I mean, if anything, I'd have to give him script writer. I don't know if he could, because some writers don't direct and can't direct. Shakespeare, because he also wrote and directed his plays, might have a little bit more of a, you know, one of those triple threat things, you know, where he writes, acts, and directs in his own stuff. I could see Shakes pulling that one off. He did Itch. I've seen all Marilyn movies. Oh, you have? Well, I need to see 3 or 4 more Billy Wilder movies. Nice, dude. Yeah, he did do 7-Year Itch. Okay, so I was right. Sweet. Yeah, that was so good too. That was really good. Marilyn was fantastic in 7-Year Itch. I liked her performance quite a bit. Enterprise is a good show. Oh, nice. You got autographs. Sweet. Look at my little Trekkies out here. All right, man. Well, hit me up over there on IG, and I'll see if I can give you a little tutorial, my man, for that. Goodness, y'all. We're 34 minutes in. We got to get to some stuff before we run out of time, because a lot of money. Yeah, it would. Yeah. I mean, but again, would that be worth it to them? You know, again, studios, look, okay, here's this fool. We'll get into slight politics, but it's movie related. So the guy who's the billionaire whiner over there at Paramount, Ellis, right? He's sitting there trying to, you know, purchase Warner Brothers, and he's getting all in a huff that he can't get it over Netflix. But he's not doing anything to show his love for Paramount, right? I mean, think about it. Show me that, like, what we had Primate come out already, which was a modest little hit. But, like, I don't see excellence coming out of Paramount right now, and they just want to gobble up Warner Brothers. Show us, Ellis, why you matter for Paramount before we even consider you for some other IP, right? And part of that would be like, spend some of your billions. Like, he's got the money all. So to me, it's not even, it costs too much. He just needs to like Star Trek, which I don't think he cares about product, because we're not seeing any sort of input, ergo output for us regarding physical media or just the love of the Paramount archive. Like, where is, show me that. Like, Warner, we're getting it all the time with Warner. We're getting releases all the time. We have Warner Archive, which puts out stuff that maybe regular people aren't going to get, but collectors do. I mean, Warner, for a company that's selling themselves off, they still seem to have so much pride in their catalog. But yeah, I mean, Ellis has the money to take both of those series and turn them into HD. Enterprise, by the time it came around, was shot in HD, and that's why we get all those on Blu-ray. So it was like a no-brainer for them. But I mean, those two, I'm telling you, fan bases would love it. They would love it. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Do it, my man. Start with the OG. You know. I can't wait. Talk to me when you're doing it. Like I'll enjoy a little play-by-play. 19. We're almost there, y'all. Shakespeare was also an actor. See, that's my triple threat there. So he did like performing as well, but I think him and Tolkien loved words and writing. Yeah, but I think if any of those people, I think Shakes could be a triple threat. You know, because he'd feel the power of cinema. And, you know, if you have to put him in the current day. Love you, Huck. Oh, thanks, Daisy. Y'all too. Hi, Hoss. Many everybody getting some haze in there. 3 favorite Paramount movies. Well, let's see. I mean, I just know Raiders is one of my all-time favorite movies of all time. Star Trek 2. That's one. And what's another one? See, you put me on the spot. I can't think of suddenly Paramount movies. And then that one. Oh, by the way, when I get a little bit later, let me attack some of the things that we have to do, and then get ready to give me some this versus that. I know there's some still over on the post page, but wait till I start asking for them, because if you put them up now, they're going to get up, and lost, and I don't want to have to keep scrolling for things. So get them ready in your mind, a little this versus that, and we'll do it live. Okay, we'll do them live. But yeah, let's see. 3 things where you reboot. I don't know, because then I have to do some homework to find out what are Paramount shows that could be rebooted, right? Because I can't just say Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because I don't think that was Paramount. I think it's Warner Brothers, probably. Performance-wise, Marilyn was at her peak after starting her studies at the Actor Studio. Yeah, and Bus Stop and The Prince, Showgirl. What was the one, Niagara, when she was like dramatic in that one? Dude, I really liked her in that. I know people don't even talk about Niagara, but she was excellent in that. She was like the little one stirring up the pot and trying to like seduce people. And yeah, I thought she was terrific in that. Was she doing her acting courses then? All right, Stacey, you got to remember, like, remind me when I get to it. Because yeah. Maverick. Oh, Maverick. There you go. We did the same thing. Is that just coincidence, KB, that you said that the two of those are exactly the same thing I said, or did this come after I said it? I think anyway. But Maverick, yeah, a little Western there. That could be cool. I'd like to see another Maverick. Thank you. Best butler in a movie, I'm going Tim Curry in Clue, hands down. Shut the door, lock the key, throw it away. Withering Heights. So Withering. It's Wuthering. I always want to say Wuthering Heights. It is Wuthering Heights. My wife hates that trailer because she goes, "It's not a love story. It's like it's about this and this and so I don't know. There's a lot. It is Valentine's, but we're gonna. You know what? Tell you what. We're in sync. I'm gonna get to that in a second, because we're gonna talk about Wuthering Heights in a minute. So yeah, aren't we always, KV? I love this. This is great. Oh, Top Gun Maverick. See, I was thinking the Mel Gibson and and Jodie Foster, that thing. But okay, Top Gun Maverick. But see, that's not so much a reboot, because that's still, we could technically just get another one, right? Wait, no, I'm sorry. This was one of my favorite movies, not the reboot part. Yeah. You know what? You nailed it. Yeah, I would agree with that. See, I'm already all over the place. Yeah, those are 3 top drawer. Of course, Top Gun Maverick. Yep, we're in sync. Those would be my 3 too. Absolutely. Favorite Giamatti performance? Holdovers was great. Loved him in that. What's up, Craig? Welcome. Cinematic Dependency is here. Yay. And multi-billion-dollar companies. Yep. Yep, yep. What's going on, man? Good to see you here. One movie I want from Paramount on Blu-ray is IQ with Walter Matthau. Oh, that's a nice deep dive. See, that's what I'm saying. So a movie like that, if it was Warner Brothers, they would put that out on Warner Archive. I mean, it just sounds like a Warner Archive thing. I mean, they're putting out all those type of movies, and Paramount just, they sort of had that Paramount Presents thing going for a little bit, and that's just gone. Like instead of embracing that and really amping it up even more, they just quit it, right? They also released them at a little bit too much of a hoity-toity prestigious price for those things. I think they were a little too too much on those. So Mary, how you said Niagara's good. You should try Don't Bother to Knock. Ooh, real Jack performance. Clash by Night. Wow, you got some really good ones here. I didn't even know. I didn't know she had this many movies. All right, y'all. Let's do our thing. Let's do. Oh, for Adrian James, you still here, buddy? All right. Bob, I think people want to know what to pick up today. It is Blues Day Tuesday, so what are you know who gonna get? Hit it.
What's Sue gonna get? What's Sue gonna get? Hey! What's Sue gonna get? And these guys too.
Now the
Silver Crew.
Tell him, Sue.
What's Sue gonna get?
What's Sue gonna get? I don't know, but hey! What's Sue gonna get?
Yeah, I don't know, man, but we're gonna find out. So here we go. Bob, slap me in the corner, would you? That's not the corner. Hang on, let me give the circle. Hit me with the circle, son. Oh, there it is. All right, sweet, y'all. Here we go. It is new release day. It is not a huge banger of a day. I'll just say that. So here we go. I'll even just roll up a day earlier right here because you got In the Search of Darkness, that really sweet compilation of horror goodness, right there. You see my little cursor? You can't see my cursor? No. But that could be cool. I didn't invest in that. Anybody here jump on that sort of, investing thing, Kickstarter or whatever to get that thing made? I just wanted to see it like put out on physical media. But here we go. Here is today's release. Got Playtime on 4K from the Criterion, a film by Jacques Tati. I am not familiar with this guy at all. Lawrence Arabia on 4K, a little standalone thing. There you go, with a new cover kind of thing. The Big Heat in 4K, Student Bodies, all these 4Ks. 7, Nuremberg. Oh boy, Dave, you must be excited that Nuremberg is out. It's on Blu-ray. I don't see the 4K. I'll keep looking, but I did not see the 4K on that. Hide and Go Shriek, 4K from 1988. Look at that. American Yakuza, Hanky Panky, another Criterion, A Woman Under the Influence. Rockers, Cruel Intentions. Look at this. You get the 25th anniversary reissue. So if you missed out on Cruel Intentions when it was out, it's coming back, y'all. Maybe that's the hot ticket for this week. If people dug that movie, of course, that's where Sarah Michelle met Ryan Felipe. Right? No, wait, it was Reese Witherspoon that met Felipe, right? Yeah, because, those are the two. Are they still together, by the way? Felipe and Witherspoon? The Last Screening, Patchwork 4K, ooh. The Mermaids of Tiburon. You can see, I'm just rattling off titles no one's ever heard of. You can just see them. I'll just keep rolling because, just to keep saying titles no one's. Hey, you got the Boobs Buster. There you go. Sign me up. Oh, it's a Big Boobs Buster. So if that's not in your cart, well, I'm sure it is now. And that is it. Now I want you to turn your attention, even though my bubbles right here, look right there. Okay, is Heart Eyes. In fact, I'm gonna move myself over here so you can see. Heart Eyes is only $15.99. That's why I made it my my movie on top of the counter this morning in the intro, because that thing I always make a wish list at Amazon. And I just leave it in the cart and I leave a note. I've told you guys how to do this before. And you leave a note in the message part. You can talk about the thing that's in your cart or in your wish list. And I just always put the price I put it in at. And so if I put it in at $25, I wait and see where that price goes. And if it gets lower to 23, I'll change that to 23, indicating that's the lowest it's gotten at a certain point. Or if it gets down to 19. I'll put 19. And I got to decide, is that price the price I'm ready to purchase it at? Well, this movie has set only on Blu-ray. Now, you know what's happening is because it's dropped to 16 bucks, that probably means they're making a 4K. This happens to me all the time. This happened to me with Abigail. This happened to me with Renfield. I waited a whole year. They finally went down in price. I snatched them up. A month later, they get announced for 4K, but it's okay. So Hard Eyes is there at $16. That is a cool price for me. So I popped it in the cart, ordered it last night. Should be here tomorrow. So I'm very excited. I loved Hard Eyes. That is my kind of horror movie. That, Final Destination Bloodlines. I mean, that's my sweet spot. Yeah. I also saw another movie, but I can't tell you about it until tomorrow night. Go over to Mega Mike, the Movie Man's channel. We're going to be talking about some horror stuff. Since it's, I don't know, it's Valentine's time, but we're talking about horror stuff. So we're going to talk about some of our favorite Scream Queens and movies that we recommended to each other for this particular episode. And I was recommended to watch Together. Anybody seen that movie? All right. You want to know what I thought? Tune in tomorrow. All I'm going to say is if you haven't seen it, well, I'll wait till next week in case any of you guys want to see it. But there it is, Heart Eyes. So to me, of all these new releases, I could care less. Maybe Cruel Intentions. But the fact that Heart Eyes the same week dropped down to 16, that was my day one purchase for today. But there you go, y'all. That is what is coming out today. Does any of that interest you at all? Did you like Heart Eyes? Are you a fan of that movie? Are you going to get it? I love that movie. I thought it had some fresh kills. It was funny. It was creepy. Just what I like about horror movies. So yeah, there you go, man. All right, let me dump that off my thing here. There we go. But there you go. All right. What else are we gonna do? Should we do? You know, it's 8:48. You know, we'll take a break on the comments real quick, and we will talk about some BO. And I don't mean body odor, people. I'm talking box office, because that's what we do here. Bob, if you'd be so kind as to wake up over there. Thank you so much. Nope, it's not what we want, Bob. You're dropping, and here we go. Let's do it. Let's talk about some BO right here. It is not a slam dunk of a weekend. Look at this thing, y'all. Look at it. Bob, to the right, please. Thank you. So Send Help, still number one. Excellent. Love that movie. Again, this is my kind of horror movie. Rachel McAdams, Dylan O'Brien chew up the scene in this movie about survival, where these two people crash land on an island and they have only themselves to survive. It is fun, tongue-in-cheeky, got some typical Sam Raimi moments in there, especially when buckets of blood go right in Rachel McAdams' face. Oh, that is worth every second. So if you haven't seen it, I would recommend Send Help. It's funny because last year, the year got off to there's always horror movies. Doesn't matter what month it is. And last year, two of my favorite movies of the year came out, and that was Heart Eyes and Companion. Companion, I think, was in January. Heart Eyes came out in February, which perfectly ties into the whole Valentine's thing. If you haven't seen it, if you know, you know. And now we've got Primate and Send Help. So to me, I already feel like these are kind of my two favorite horror movies of the year. And then we'll see what else comes out. Because like last year, a lot of other good stuff came out. You know, then I got Final Destination Bloodlines. We got Sinners. I don't recall a horror movie. Well, it's got vampires in it. Weapons, stuff like that. So there's always something later. I haven't seen Iron Lung yet, but here we go. Anyway, Send Help made 10 million. Solo mio. So I did not see this one coming. Yeah, obviously it's a little bit of a love story. It's got Valentine's Day on the poster there. It stars Kevin James, who has a big fan base. So he did well enough to pull in the number 2 spot. Iron Lung did drop down, though. It was in second place. It's now third place. But its drop was a little bit heftier than, I thought that Markiplier fan base was going to stick around. But that was like about a 66% drop. Send Help only dropped about 52. And that's been its sort of drop since it was number 1 last week. So it's still number one there. But Solo Mio had good enough chops to hit the second spot. In the fourth spot, you got Stray Kids, The Dominate Experience, 5.6. And Dracula, another new movie by Luc Besson, who I do love. Luc Besson, I'm sure you know. Fifth Element, Leon, great movies like that. We did another Dracula movie. So I had a choice to see that or Shelter. And I went and saw Shelter in its second week. It was okay. You know, it's not even in the top 5. Shelter is the new Jason Statham movie that felt very paint by numbers. You know, there's a girl he's trying to keep safe, just like in the last movie. You know, a working man where he had to go save this family's girl, keep her safe. It's like, dude, same. It's like same plot, different location. And I don't know. So go watch my review on that. I talk about comparing it to Beekeeper and stuff like that. Because Beekeeper, when we're talking about older Statham, I think the Beekeeper is about as good as it gets. Like fun plot, great action set pieces, good bad guy for him to fight twice. So you got the main bad guy who's running all the stuff. Then you got the henchman. It's very James Bond like. The henchman was this big dude with a fake leg, you know, and they fight each other in this hallway. You don't get anything like that in this movie. Nothing like that. So Dracula, I'll get around to it hopefully while it's still in the theater. But the reason I say but is because y'all, we have got a banger Friday coming up. Bob, if you will, hit. Oh wait, first of all, let's look at the top here. Let me know if you guys like when I put this here. So this is what happened this weekend because the Super Bowl game is it only made 33 for the top 5 movies, 33 million. Last week it was 55. So you know, yeah, and you know there wasn't a lot of huge things released this week either. I think studios know whenever it's the Super Bowl, don't bother with anything like that you want to do extremely well. So we only made 33. I do see next week really jumping back up because look, here we go. Oh, ready? I think I got 5 posters on the next screen for you. Bam! I usually put 1 or 2 up. You got Wuthering Heights, of course, Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi. And then I also put up Cold Storage. Why not, man? It's got Joe Keery from Stranger Things. I know he's got a good fan base. Also, Liam Neeson's in this. I don't know who's going to go see it, but I thought it was worthy enough to put up here because I like Joe Keery. I thought he was fun also in Free Guy. Yeah, Free Guy. Thought he was good in that. So we'll see. I want to know if that's going to put a challenge in the lineup. Goat is coming out. Never underestimate a family animated flick. So there's Goat. You got Crime 101. That's the main one I want to go see this coming weekend. Crime 101. That's why my wife wants to see it too. So I will most likely go to that at least one day. You know, if I only see 1 per day, that means I'm only going to get about 2 of these in. That's the problem because I got time for maybe 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. And then you have Good Luck, Have Fun, No Time to Die, directed by Gore Verbinski, who gave us Pirates of the Caribbean. So that looks fun. You know, it's also starring Sam Rockwell and Michael Pena are in this film. That's a lot. That is 5 potentially good movies. So let's just roll back up here. So you're looking at all of these, right? And I think like Dracula did so poor, it won't be in the top 5. Stray Kids, its concert, it did its money. It'll be out. And I'm kind of predicting everything will be out of the top 5 except Send Help, which could potentially still stay in the 5th spot because one of these probably won't make the top 5. But this could potentially be your top 5. However, I see Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. No one's talking about it. I don't know what kind of spread that movie's getting cinema-wise, how many theaters it's going in. So it's ending with Cold Storage. I think the ones getting the most screens are Wuthering Heights, Goat, and Crime 101. In fact, let's take a look at who they're considering wide release. I mean, they have other things I didn't even put on here. Something called Mortuary Assistant, Conversation Piece, Jimpa. All of those are considered wide releases, but no. Oh, although, okay, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. That's wide, and so is Goat. So those 2 are getting the bigger wide release. The limited release is everything else. So Crime, Cold Storage, Wuthering Heights. They're considering those limited. So depending on how limited, that could affect those slipping into the top 5. But potentially, these could be your top 5 movies easily. So there it is, y'all. That is my prediction. Do you think this will be our top 5? If we do, what order would we go in? Let's have a little fun here. Let's figure this out. Well, it is Valentine's, but Margot Robbie's last thing with the door in the woods with Colin Farrell, that thing flopped. That was a huge tankeroni. And it doesn't look all that exciting. And my wife, who knows the book, says it's not even like the book. So she's totally uninterested to see that. And I would think she'd be their audience. So I don't think that'll be number 1. I think Crime 101 has the best shot at being number 1. And Goat. Between those two. Because you got, look at this. It says from the animation studios, it brought you K-pop Demon Hunters and Spider-Man. Like that's... I don't know. Families? I think you could see Goat taking the number 1. Goat, then Crime. Then Wuthering Heights, maybe because it's Valentine's. And because Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die as a wide release, maybe that takes 4, Cold Storage 5. That's what we'll do if these end up being in the top 5. Otherwise, one of them won't make it, and I think Send Help will be number 5. All right. So that's it, Joe. That's it. All right. Now, while this is up, so that we get all this out of the way, we're going to do our 52-week movie challenge. Bob, if you will, flick it. Thank you, sir. There it is. So here we go, y'all. It is a week number 6, a movie from the 1950s or earlier. So I checked out from Criterion, The Incredible Shrinking Man from 1957. Yes, gave it 3.5 stars there on Letterboxd. And let me just say, okay, first of all, let me change my locale. There we go. And let's lose the ticker just on this one. So this was good. I'm just going to say this was a good flick. I picked this up from Criterion I don't know, 2 years ago. KB, isn't that how it goes? Pick this up, just sits on the shelf. This is why I do the challenge, y'all, because it just sat there and a lot of that plays into what movie I pick. So sometimes it won't even just be like, oh, what can I find on streaming? I'm coming in here first and looking to see if I have something that fits the bill. But look, so the effects for its time were satisfactory for sure. Like, the shrinking process, it's tough to do. They did a lot of prop manipulation. They did a lot of forced perspective kind of thing. And they would hide the mat. So like they would put him in a resized room. So the couch was big, the table was bigger, the phone was bigger, and he was shrunk. And then she'd be on the left side. And then in the frame, there were like curtains and an edge of a table and then a carpet. And I watched the bonus features after this because I knew they'd show off some good stuff. And they did a good job like highlighting it and then pulling the things apart and then putting it back together and show you how they pieced the scene together. I mean, tricks that we would use today easily. But back then, you really had to master that. And there is a little limitation sometimes when he's shrinking and being put into a scene. There is a little edging going on. You can see the edge. And when he runs across the carpet, there's no shadow coming off of him. But the cat that's chasing him's got this enormous shadow coming off of him. So those are just the limitations of the time, but you got to let it go. You just got to let the story talk to you, man. You got to, again, put yourself in the time things were made so you can appreciate them instead of judging them. But I'm just letting you know, like those are things that you notice because of are being spoiled by today's technology. But Grant Williams does a fantastic job of shrinking into teeny tininess. Randy Stewart was great as the wife. It's a very, it's a tragedy, y'all. It's like a little horror tragedy. It's like like Twilight Zone. This is like a really great Twilight episode because it's got the premise, then it executes it, and then it gives you an ending that is so atypical of Twilight Zone. And if you know Twilight Zone, you know what I'm talking about. Twilight Zone doesn't always, end with a smile on your face. It makes you think. And this is one of those movies. It doesn't just, put a pretty bow on it. You it keeps you thinking the whole time. So it is definitely a tragedy, but I liked it quite a bit. I finally watched it. It's been in my collection for years. So thumbs up, 3.5 stars for Incredible Shrinking Man. So good. So if y'all haven't seen it and you like vintage sci-fi, I would encourage you to watch it. I remember the thing about this one is I remember when I was younger, we had like Shock Theater or, late night horror theater on Saturdays on the weekends. And I remember, all I can remember is when he opens the door and there's a cat, snarling at him, hissing at him in the door. Like, that's just an iconic shot. Even if you haven't seen the movie, I think that clip gets shown all the time. And then this shot here, when he's fighting the spider, I see that a lot too. Because that's the big thing is, how are we going to have him fight a spider? And of course, it's a tarantula, because they said in the making of, they were thinking about a Black Widow, but the Black Widow didn't come across as menacing as the tarantula, and they had just done a film with tarantulas, so they knew how to wrangle tarantulas. It's kind of funny, like why they chose the tarantula. And there he is, yeehaw, tarantula, rearing up. And they went and cut, and the tarantula, they put a towel over him, they fanned him off. Feeling all right there, Sparky? So yeah. It was good. It was good. I liked it. And next week we have a comfort movie, whatever that means to you. For me, some of my comfort movies are Back to the Future, Clue, Galaxy Quest, things like that. Those are just comfort movies to put a smile on my face. I've seen them 100 times, and they always just make me feel good. So that's what I'm considering a comfort movie for me. Maybe some of you like Nightmare on Elm Street's a comfort movie because you just love that stuff. Whatever comfort movie is to you, that's what you can watch coming up next week. So there you go, y'all. That is it. All right, slap that ticker back on. Bam. All right, let's get back to you. We've covered a lot of ground today. You guys are awesome. I got to find out where I left off. Booyah. Okay, let's see. Is it okay to dislike? Yeah. Look, if something doesn't work for you, you can, not thumbs up it. Have I done any movies with Jim Movie Channel? Nope, I have not. Okay, you think Don't Bother to Knock is also really good. Or dank. They're not just good, they're dank. Let's see. Uh-oh, Dave, you canceled your Nuremberg. I want to wait for it to drop a little bit in price. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you got to wait. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I think so. I just told you what it was. So, yeah. So, this week's was in the 1950s or earlier. And then next week is your comfort movie. See? Sometimes I've already answered stuff by the time I get to them. Clash by Night. I didn't see that. We're at 22. Nice. Thanks, Dave. 22 likes. Yeah. Sitting Up was pretty good. I like that. Sorry, I'm just trying to see things that I know answers to, y'all. So it's kind of fun. So Picasso Rembrandt came back alive. Who should make a movie poster? And then Marriott says, well, Picasso was more movie poster style than Rembrandt for sure. So I guess we're going to lean on that. Well, let's have him do a Raiders poster. I mean, I don't. I mean, Raimi's things are pretty good, by themselves. I don't need to see an ending to that. I kind of like movies that just like they're a good one and done, like Companion and that. However, Heart Eyes, I want to see sequels to that. I like that villain. I think he's a good new looking horror icon. Cold Storage, Jay says Cold Storage looks like fun movie. Yeah, I know, right? That would be a great double feature. Just boom, boom. Go see those two. Yeah, no spoilers. I haven't, hopefully. Yeah, try to be careful, anybody, if you're leaving questions, when your questions, make sure they don't give away stuff, because that's not what we do here. We talk about stuff, but, as you can tell, whenever I'm talking about something, I sort of skate around things. so as not to give things away. So hopefully nothing was spoiled for you, Maria. Da, da, da. Your Wuthering Heights was awful. All right. We see Crime 101. Yeah. Always talk vaguely when we're talking about movies. You always assume nobody has seen the movie that we're talking about. That's why even The Incredible Shrinking Man, like I want you to see it. I'm not going to tell you how it ends. I'm just saying it's like a really good Twilight Zone episode. And you know, if you know Twilight Zone, that should interest you enough to check it out. It's not vague if you can pick a companion. Which one? I don't think I compared anything to Companion. I just know I said my two favorites from last year were The Companion and Heart Eyes. But yeah, I mean, sorry if anybody else did that, but yeah, I wouldn't compare Send Help to Companion. If that's what we're talking about. Sometimes I've said so much, and maybe you guys are chatting, so I might have missed what's going on here. How do you say Crime number one, and then two will be Wuthering Heights? Well, no, because as I was talking it out, again, you probably said this maybe while I was talking. In the end, I think I went with Goat, and then Crime, and then Wuthering Heights, and then the other two. Potentially, that's potentially what I see. Why'd you have to put that cover out there? Why? Because it's in the trailer. That's like a classic. That's not a spoiler. If you've seen anything like The Incredible Shrinking Man, like if literally it's on the poster, like if you see the poster of it. Now on this one, the Criterion, it's just a man and he's shrinking and it's a white background. But that's not a, to me, that's not a spoiler because that has been a marketing image they've used to get you to watch the film since its inception. So just watch the trailer. You'll see. Yeah, that's just supposed to get you to watch it. Like, oh, he fights a spider, and oh, you know, how's that happen? What's the big deal there? So that's why I put it on the covers to interest you, to pique your interest. Attorneys, I don't know. That's good. You think Whoopi Goldberg's House Guest is a comfort movie? That's cool. Oh, you're terrified of spiders. Well, I didn't know that. I mean, I can't make these protect everyone's phobias. If you're terrified of spiders, you know, I don't know. I don't know if that would like freak you out so that you wouldn't watch the movie, or if that'll get you like a little bit more like, ooh, because I'm scared of spiders. I want to see what he does with that spider. I don't know. But if you are, maybe you won't watch the movie. That's cool. My cousin once said, you will never guess the killer. Nothing else. Pick the least likely suspect. Oh, no. What movie was that for, Marriott, where they said you'll never guess the killer? And so you picked the... You never know. That is true. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah. You're not wrong. So I guess that's the thing when we do these. I try to be very careful, you know, so if anything I say feels like it's tipping the scale, I don't mean that. I try to think very carefully what I'm saying. So yeah, I hope I didn't say anything in my chit chat. You let me know. All right, let's see. Oh, you definitely freaked it out. Oh, the spider? Yeah. Sorry about that. Steel Magnolia, I go Aaron Brockovich. Yeah, in fact, I just picked that up on 4K. It was on a super sale, so yeah. Oh, then you'd spoil the movie if you told me what it was. All right. That's true. That's true. But I kind of want to know. Maybe tell me over at Instagram. I kind of want to know. Like you don't have to say who, but it is. Yeah, I am curious. Okay. Oh yeah, we need to do a little this versus that, y'all. Okay, the show's almost over. It is now time. You guys have roped it in. It's now time for a little. Hang on, let's do this properly. All right, gang. It is now time for this versus that, where we go to the chat section now and find out from you who might be a good battle royale for this versus that. Let's go ahead and bring up our graphic here. Bob, if you will. Let's see. Hang on. Let's get it going. Let's do it proper. Let's do it right so you guys can enjoy it here. Here we go. Bam. And any second now, and let's do this. All right, here we go. All right, y'all. Now it is time for another this versus that, where we go to the chats section and we find out who you want to battle against and try to do just one versus one. Don't do like 4 or 5 or 6. That's too much because I'll break these up into little sub clips later. So it's better if it's just a this versus that. That's why it's just 2 things, this versus that. So let's see what you guys got coming. Hoss McPizza coming in hot with this or that 90s action movies. Con Air versus The Rock. I'm going to take one of these off, Hoss. Let's see. Let's take The Rock off. I feel like that's its own kick-ass thing. Like, we'll just say that wins. That wins over all of them. So that puts more of a Con Air versus Face Off. I think they're in that same camp, right? Ooh, I don't know. Both really good. Con Air's got all the super villains on the airplane. And you got you some, what am I trying to say? John Cusack in there. And that's good stuff. Good action set pieces. And then, of course, Face Off. You got Travolta versus Nick Cage there with I'm going to take his face off. And you got the John Woo action set pieces. Whew, let's see. All right. I think I'm going to... haven't seen either in a long time, but I'm going to lean to Con Air just a little bit. I'm going to go Con Air. Instinctually, I almost want to say Face Off, but I think that big cast of Con Air was sort of like all the super villains on the plane, and you got Cusack against all of them, Cyrus the Virus. I don't know, a little bit more fun. I'll go ahead and pick Con Air. All right, so I'm only looking for these things right now. I'm going to have to skip everything else. Let's see. All right, what do we got here? Haas says this or that movies. Train versus Busan. Yeah, okay, and I didn't say this earlier to keep it at 2. Okay, so here's the thing. I want to take, this is easy. So for this one, I'm going to take Train to Busan off because I haven't seen that one. So Return of the Living Dead versus either of the Dawn of the Deads. Obviously, Returning of the Living Dead's got a little tongue-in-cheek, more of a comedic twist to it. But then you got the 2 Dawn of the Deads where you got the original with the mall, and it's just an iconic, epic movie. But then you've got the remake with Zack Snyder where he just sort of amps up the zombies, where he completely catches you off guard. They're fast, they're furious, It's like Vin Diesel should have been a zombie in that movie. So that makes the Dawn of the Deads. You have to pick one of those, though, to go up against Return of the Living Dead. So let's just pick the original, the OG, Dawn of the Dead versus Return of the Living Dead. I'm going to have to just go with the OG, Return of the Living Dead from the 1970s. I think that's the one that's got, the zombie stuff that everything is based on now. Obviously, Night of the Living Dead from the 60s, I think 69. That was a good movie too. But this one takes the whole zombie genre and just turned it into something that everything now, I think, just is beholden to. So we're going to go the original Dawn of the Dead. All right. Let's see. Multiplicity or Mr. Mom. Of course, you got Michael Keaton in both of those. You got tons of Michael Keatons in one, playing all the different personalities. And then you got the charming version of Mr. Mom, where he's the Mr. Mom, and Terry Garr is the wife who's got the job, and he stays home and does the stuff. You know what? Honestly, I'm more charmed by Mr. Mom. So I think we're going to lean towards that one over Multiplicity. As far as those two go, like if there was something a little bit more, like if Beetlejuice was on there, that'd have been a harder pull. But I think between those two, Mr. Mom takes the win. All right. All right, so Wolverine, so Spotlight. So we're gonna do. I already did a Batman versus Superman 2 weeks ago, Haas. I think because I saw you had that in the on my post. So because I've already done Batman versus Superman, I'm just gonna do Wolverine versus Spider-Man. Obviously, arguably the two most popular characters in the Marvel universe, very similar to Batman versus Superman in the DC universe. And so I think it all comes down to personal preference. Growing up, I was way more of a Spider-Man kid. I collected Spider-Man before I even knew who Wolverine was. And Wolverine, once he caught on, he was all over the place. He was in everybody's comics. He was, if you wanted to sell something, you put Wolverine in it, which was fine. But for me, it was still all about Spider-Man. I think the Spider-Man movies interest me way more. I didn't care for the Wolverine standalone movies. I think he's great in all the X-Men movies and the Deadpool versus Wolverine. I just didn't care for his solo adventures. Whereas Spider-Man, I'm very much into like all of his adventures. Even Spider-Man 3, I like to a certain degree, even though a lot of people don't. So when it comes to Wolverine versus Spider-Man, I will pick the web crawler himself, Spider-Man. All right, let's see. Fearless versus Flight. I don't know. It's a Fearless. Are you talking about? Okay, so Flight is the Denzel Washington movie. I can't remember what Fearless is, so I'll just go Flight. So that's how that's gotta go. All right, let's do a little horror sci-fi battle. Alien. Oh, you wicked person, you. Alien versus the Thing. Dude, that's all right, Alien versus the Thing. That is a really good battle. Just had a tug at the strings, man. Alien, of course, sci-fi. You got the xenomorph, totally wicked, chest burster moment, iconic. And it gave us Ripley, one of our first final girls and most memorable endings to any horror movie. And then you got The Thing, which at its time wasn't a big hit, but of course we all know, who cares? It's a hit now. Everyone loves it. It's a staple in the horror genre. You got the wicked thing where it takes over somebody's body. You don't know who's infected and who's not, so you can't trust anybody. So there's some sort of like tension in that movie. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm again, no matter what I pick, I think somebody's going to be disappointed, but I'm going to lean towards The Thing on this one, y'all. I love Alien, but I love Aliens more. But that's not what's up here. It's Alien versus The Thing. I think if it was the second one, I easily would have chosen that. But when it comes to these two, I just love all that practical Rob Bottin gore fest effects that he made. Rob Bottin is he's just a legend in the makeup effects department. So, yeah. So I'm going to go with The Thing. Yeah. Oh, they were both plane related. Yeah. Sorry, Stacey. I didn't know. I didn't recall Fearless. Last one. Here we go. Evil Dead franchise or any other horror franchise. All 5 films are strong and they're pretty strong. Okay, so the thing is, do I like the Evil Dead franchise over any other franchise? So we're talking Nightmare on Elm Street, Chucky, Jason Voorhees, Halloween, Scream. I'll just stop there. I'll put all those up and say, is Evil Dead against any of those? It is a good franchise, but for me, I don't know, pound for pound, if I'm going to throw Scream into there, I know a lot of people, they're more of that Freddy and Jason and all that stuff, but there's something about the Scream franchise. I like the energy about it, the style, the sort of meta thing, the fact that the killer's always the same height and the same voice, but no matter who the killer is, they can be shorter or taller. That's part of the the disbelief you have to allow to happen. And I sort of like that when he comes after people, they can punch him out. They can knock him around. They can push him downstairs and slap a refrigerator door into his face. Like, he gets his ass handed to him, unlike a lot of the other villains who just are kind of unstoppable. So I sort of like the ability for Ghostface to get like his butt kicked sometimes. It's kind of cool. So, but Evil Dead I probably put second, maybe, because pound for pound I like all those movies. That was a good one. All right, Star Wars. Yeah, well, that's what I said, Dave. You have to start putting them here. So, what are they? I was saying I can't go back and forth to the thing. So once we're doing this now, I'll just try to go off memory and say, okay, you had Mace Windu versus Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's one I can remember. So you'll have to, again, Dave, pop them up here so I can talk about them. But let's see, Obi-Wan versus. Let me take this down because it's there we go. Okay, so this time we're going to do Obi-Wan versus Mace Windu. Okay, so you got the badassery of Mace Windu. He's got the purple lightsaber and all that jazz. But honestly, and I'm not going to lie here, if you watch, and we're going to put him up against Ewan McGregor, let's face it. You know, if you're going to pick which Obi-Wan, I mean, that is the Obi-Wan that Mace was around. So now he'd be a ghost, and, you know, he could fight the Alec Guinness ghost, but that's just boring and silly. So if I put him up against Ewan, it's just no challenge. Like, Ewan McGregor is way more skilled with a lightsaber than Sam Jackson was. Sam was okay. If you watch him swing that thing around, he looks a little clumsy. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, do I want the purple lightsaber? Hell yeah. I mean, that is the coolest color. But if you watch, you know, Obi-Wan go up against Darth Maul, that ending scene where he is just going to town on that double-sided lightsaber, you know, doofus, that's a force to be reckoned with. So I think hands down, you got to go Obi-Wan Kenobi as played by Ewan McGregor. But that's a good one, Dave. I like that one. Okay. Yeah, all right, here you go. All right. Deep Impact. Let's see. Okay. All right. So this one is Deep Impact versus Armageddon. Obviously, you got your two asteroid movies that came out around the same time. And here's the deal with that. Here's the deal. Instinctually, I would tell you Armageddon. Now, I need to rewatch Armageddon. I've more recently seen Deep Impact, and I do remember it not being as spectacular as Armageddon. Armageddon is just, it's got that Michael Bay, everything blows up, and, you know, the slow-mo astronauts and all that jazz. So that's an easy pick when it comes to that. However, when I rewatched Deep Impact, it had so much more heart than I remembered. And I feel like it's got more heart in it than Armageddon, whereas Armageddon's got more spectacle than Deep Impact. So I guess in the moment, it's what am I looking for? So for right now, because I've seen it more recently, I'm going to pick Deep Impact. I like the effects are still really good in this film. But the emotional resonance for Deep Impact was just better than Armageddon. Now, I will give Armageddon another watch soon and see if it's got more heart in it than I remember. You know, of course, it's got that, you know, the song from, don't want to miss a thing. So anyway, but still, I'm going to pick Deep Impact. All right, Johnny's here. What's up, Johnny? What's good, son? Oh boy, Wrath of Khan versus first. You knew exactly what to do. All right, so in this one we have Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan versus Star Trek: First Contact. Arguably, you're taking the best of the original crew and the best of the next generation and putting them head to head. And I will say this is a very good battle. You got two fantastic villains here. You got Khan, and then you've got the Borg Queen, who was fantastic. Alice Krieg was terrific in this role. It gave a lot for the cast to do that they were sort of losing out for I'm talking about for the next generation. They had a little bit more for each of them to do. That was quite nice. And even in the Wrath of Khan, you gave people, each of the characters, a good chunk of stuff to do. Even Chekhov had something at the beginning. Now, okay, we're going to have to break it down. So we're going to take the villains first, and I will say Khan has got to beat out the Borg Queen. Personally, just because Khan is sinister. He's iconic. It's they went back to the original show and tied it together, which is something I think it's very difficult to do unless you do it right. And Ricardo Montalban as Khan who chews up the scene even more than Shatner. Like, who thought there'd be anybody better at that than Shat? Well, it's Ricardo. And so that takes the win there. But then you've got like the effects and the spectacle, because by that time they had more money for The Next Generation. That movie, they went back on the TV budget for The Wrath of Khan, because they spent so much money on the motion picture and it didn't quite do what they wanted. They tried to really dial that down, so you can kind of tell in that regard. But I mean, just because I'm an OG guy, y'all, I got to just lean towards Star Trek The Wrath of Khan to take this over Star Trek First Contact. Now, my wife would disagree, and she would say, no, I think it's First Contact. What do y'all think? Okay, let's do a couple more here. Oh, it's almost 9:30. All right. Elizabeth Taylor versus Bette Davis. I don't really have a dog in that game. I don't have a preference on that one. Yeah, I'm not going to pick just because I would just be pointing. I'd have to let you guys pick on that. Now, Marilyn versus Sophia, this is easy because, Marriott knows I've been watching all the Marilyn movies. I've hardly seen any Sophias. So some of these are just a very quick debate. And this is simply Marilyn Monroe takes the win. I don't know the next one. The Fugitive versus The Witness. That's wicked. That's evil. What you're doing there, Stacy. The Fugitive is such a great. Both of these are fantastic Harrison Ford movies. I love them both. But you know what? I'm going to go out and say, The Fugitive's got that, the great action stuff, and you got Tommy Lee Jones, and he wins the Academy Award for the supporting actor for that. But in the end, man, this was Harrison Ford's one Oscar nomination for Best Actor, and he really kills it in Witness. I think it's one of the best crime dramas ever made. The fact that the little boy, the Amish boy, witnesses a murder, and he's the only witness, and how that story plays out, I think is just great. It's he's in the Amish community. It's very taboo. He starts to have things for Kelly McGillis's character, and they can never do that thing. And oh boy, I'm going to lean to Witness to take the win on that one. That's a good one. Look at you, movie hunter, going the original 1701 versus D. As Scotty once said, there is no bloody A, no bloody B, C, or D. Just 1701. And we're just going to have to just go with Scotty on this one and take the original 1701. Although I would probably bump it up to the 1701A from the movie, because then they both look pretty. So still technically the same ship, just, it had a refurbish on it. But, like Scotty says, yeah, I got to go the original. I've actually seen both of those. Extraordinary Measures was better than I thought, but Regarding Henry just had a little extra heart in it. So I'll pick that one. That's okay, buddy. Yeah, at least I was able to break them down so we could try to do them. Dave, I don't know if you're hearing me, Dave. I was saying put them here so I can talk about them. All right, hold on. Hang on. Let me switch over, Dave. See if I can see some. Yeah, I did your Obi-Wan versus Kenobi. Let's see. Okay, so you have Darth Vader versus Darth Sidious. I mean, how do you bet against... I mean, I know Darth Sidious is, pretty wicked, but Vader's just the coolest. Yeah, Vader also gets the cool factor. And I mean, he is the most iconic villain of all time. I think we've talked about him on the show before. Is there a better villain of all time than Darth Vader? Probably not. Even though Darth Sidious is, the big baddie in the early ones and stuff. So I don't know. I think when it comes for just iconic stature, I got to go with Vader on that. Let's see. All right, hang on. Let's do like 2 more here. I'm just looking at I'm not looking here, y'all. I'm just going to I think we did all these. All right, we'll come back. All right, so I think those are the ones, Dave, that I saw Star Wars related. Yeah, that's all I can see there. All right, so I did them. Now, we do have... Chewie versus 3PO. Come on, it's Chewbacca. Yeah, I'm not even going to waste time on that. Yeah, you must have not heard, buddy. I was saying put them here so I don't have to keep switching screens to read the post over there. It's just easier for me to stay right here on this program. Do. Okay, what is this one? Mr. Geek says, who do you think will win between Leatherface and Mike Myers? Okay. First when I saw that, I was thinking like, Mike Myers, Austin Powers. All right, so we'll make this the last one. So who do I think will win between Leatherface and Michael Myers from Halloween? Here's the thing. I think Leatherface is just a loose cannon, Mike Myers has always been a bit of a slowpoke. Let's face it. Somehow he's slow, but he always seems to get his kills in, which is crazy. But Leatherface, man, that dude hauls ass and he's swinging his chainsaw. The downside is, okay, for Leatherface, is Michael Myers always comes back because he's the embodiment of evil. We've seen it time and time again. The townsfolk beat him down and all of a sudden he's still alive. It's literally, I think all those characters just become the same thing. Like Jason's the same way. You kill Jason, cut him into pieces, he's back. Somehow, he fuses back together. Freddy, he always comes back. But Leatherface, I'm not a huge fan of that franchise, so I don't know if he's the same way. Do they kill him and he comes back too? You guys tell me. I don't know. All I know is in a fight, if Michael Myers was able to take him out, here's what will happen. Leatherface will chainsaw Michael Myers. He'll be presumed dead. He will walk away all cocky, put his chainsaw down, and then Michael Myers will resurrect as he always does, take the chainsaw, and that'll be the end of Leatherface. So that's why I see that one playing out. All right, y'all. That is a good one. We did some good this versus that's today. Thank you so much for bringing those to the table. We'll try to do that each time. You're welcome to put them over there for memory. Like if you want to put them in my post tab, just keep them going there. But when we come back and do the show during the day and we have it here live, just bring them back here in the thing so I can see them live. It'll be just easier to tackle them that way. But hey, y'all, we did it. We did it again. We did another hunky dory show. Thank you all for coming here for the Morning Mug every Tuesday morning. I appreciate you. And everybody coming here. Again, go check out KB's channel. He's got his live show tonight with Dell. Go to Mega Mike tomorrow night where I will be on there talking about some horror, some of our favorite horror icons. And that is going to wrap it up for today, y'all. Thank you so much. And, be kind, rewind, and we'll see you on the next one. Bobberoni, take us home. All my Cafe members for their support. And if you'd like to be a Cafe member to help support the channel, please consider hitting that join button now. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming by and sharing your time with me. So until next time, be safe, be kind. We'll see you on the next one.